welcome back to My Two Cents. This is EJ's discussion about life, love, happiness, sadness, success, failure, fear, desire, blah, blah, blah. Anything related to, living your life and how to think about things that may make things better. Now, you can take everything I say with a grain of salt. It's up to you. Or you can find some good nuggets in there that you can apply. Anyway, hopefully you'll enjoy this one. This one is based on the last one I did, which was fear and desire, of which I got a lot of comments. I've actually been getting a lot of good comments, thanks guys, on my different videos. And a lot of them kind of allude to different things like, wanting to be happy in life. And we're going to cover some things, some tips that I have that I think have worked really well for me, and things that I'm working on, and things that I think you can do. A lot of stuff is pretty simple, and you may not have heard this stuff before. We'll find out. Let's check it out. What do you think? Happiness is a good one. Let's do it. I'm back in full color. I'm not sure if I was in black and white. This is left over from the last video, I guess. Alright, this is a happiness thing. So, what would make me happy? Whatever I'm thinking in my brain, that's what makes me happy. In fact, that's one of the first things we're going to get into is how do you know if you're happy? How do you know how close to your potential for happiness you are, or how far away you are? I'll tell you in a second. Don't forget to subscribe right here. You know why? Because I don't know, 90% of you that are watching videos aren't actually subscribed. If you are, hey, good job. If you're not, hit that real quick. Alright, cool. Okay, here's how you tell whether you have room for improvement in your happiness. You just record your internal thoughts. What are you thinking about right now? What are you thinking about all day long? Where are they on the baseline in terms of thoughts? Are they, this is good, I'm happy, this is great, this is wonderful? Or are they, that sucks, man, I can't believe, oh man, blah, 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 below the baseline? If you're about 50-50, well, guess what? You've got a lot of room for improvement on your happiness scale. Positive thoughts, and probably the best way to measure happiness and the best way to be happy is to control your internal conversations. What you're saying to yourself at every given moment is either positive, neutral, or negative. And if you feel like just being neutral is okay, or being negative sometimes is okay, just part of life, and being positive should be reserved for when things are absolutely situationally wonderful, well then, welcome to the world of you're just leaving it up to external things, and you don't really take a whole lot of responsibility for your own happiness. You can't really talk about and be sad and think about sad or unhappy things or how things are bad and be happy at the same time. There's another couple tricks, and we're going to get into how to do that and what that looks like. But another couple things, the physical side of things. Do you know that it's been proven that if you are like this, your lips are curved upwards in what they call a smile, your brain interprets that as happiness, and you actually have better feelings inside. If you're walking around generally like this, there's very few people who are thinking absolutely wonderful things with a frown on their face. So if you look at somebody that's sitting with a frown on their face, do you need to feel sorry for them? No, but could they be having more positive internal thoughts, which otherwise translated as being happy? Absolutely. Okay, here's a good one. One of the keys to being happy is that no matter what is going on in the world, it is good. What do you mean? How can you say this is good when so many bad things are happening? How is that good? Whether if you want to be happy, you can be a positive force for positive change. You can do things if there's a car accident and people are getting injured. At that moment, you can just be absolutely distraught and upset and semi-incapacitated. Or you can try to look at what is good about the situation, or what you can make good about the situation, and do everything you can to prevent further injury, to help those that are injured do better, to help yourself get to the path of recovery more quickly. I'll take it to the extreme example. And this is the truth, okay? uh, Extreme example, and a good, my cousin who I love dearly, Kirk Simon, is a quadriplegic. It's been so since 1989. And while it was a terrible accident, he used to be a whitewater kayaker with me, he used to be a bike racer. There are so many things he can't do, and I would not wish that on absolutely anybody. But Kirk Simon did everything he could to make that a positive. And he accomplished so many things as a quadriplegic that he never would have if that never happened. Bottom line is, if something's already happened, or a situation that you're in, if you let that control your happiness, you're pretty much screwed. You're out of luck, because the world's going to change. People are going to do things. People are going to do things about you, with you, to you. You can't control that. All you can do is control what your thoughts are. Here's an example how I imagine if I were to fall down and crash and become a paraplegic or something like that, quadriplegic, what's going to happen? Immediately my thought is, man, there's a lot of good things I'm about to accomplish. You know how much work I could get done if I spent more time in front of the computer? Oh my gosh. If I spent less time fishing and kayaking, there's certain types of work that I could crush if I spent way more time, if I took all that time and put it into the computer. In fact, there's actually a real situation, 1999 I think was, I got injured. I hurt my ribs really bad, to the point where I couldn't paddle for 4 months. And my good buddy Dan Gavir, who was I was with Jackson Kayak, sorry. So this was in the 2000s, I don't remember the injury. But Dan Gavir is still working at Wave Sport, and I'm with Jackson Kayak. And Dan Gavir walked into his boss's office and said, "Hey man, I gotta let you know, Eric Jackson just got hurt." My boss was like, "Okay," I don't know what he said exactly, but he was confused, like, "Well, what are you trying to say, Dan? We're in trouble. EJ's got plenty of time to work now." That was his actual thought. So Dan Gavir thought of what the good side of me being hurt was, and that was the fact that I could get a lot of work done. Now, what does this have to do with happiness? It's basically how you look at any situation. So situations are, when two different people see the same situation, one person will look at it and look at the negative side, and their emotions will follow suit. The other person will look at the good side, and their emotions will follow suit. Then you get the person who says they're being realistic, the realist. There is no such thing as reality, only your perception of reality. Right now, when I'm talking about this, the things that are in my mind, the things that we're talking about, let's say, could be that are real, they don't exist. It's just how I perceive them as real. The colors I'm perceiving, the sounds, the sights, the smells, the emotions that I perceive are completely different than what you do. However, there's common denominators among them, and I like to use the above and below the baseline as a way to describe happiness. There's neutral, below the baseline, and above the baseline. My goal in life is to stay above the baseline the entire time, if possible. I drop below the baseline, but I can usually catch myself, and the way I catch myself and the way I fix that is a couple things. One, I catch myself if any time I say, "Man, that sucks," which that's a term I would use. "Hey, man, that sucks." If I'm referring to something myself, that's an internal thought, boom, a light bulb goes off. I'm like, wait, that doesn't suck. That's awesome. What's awesome about that? What is good about that? And what that forces you to do is to find something that's either good or could be good about a situation and focus on that part. If it's what could be good about the situation, that spurs you to do an action that helps make it better. And if you think about it, most of the things that are just terrible that are going on, that are like, that are bringing you down, those are things that you either intend to fix at some point. So for example, let's say that you are overweight, out of shape, and not happy about it. If you focus on the fact that you're overweight, out of shape, and not happy about it, well, that brings you down. And the focus on that negative, or the focus on the negative self-talk, isn't the focus on the positive. What is it? Man, I'm out of weight, or I'm overweight, out of shape, and don't feel good about it. if those thoughts come into my head, I think, what's good about it? What's good about it is I recognize that I want to be in shape and not overweight. And man, to do that, I need to work out and lose weight. When am I going to do my first one? I'm going to do some push-ups right now. Man, I'm not going to eat that lunch right now. I'm skipping lunch, or I'm going to eat half as much for lunch. You start focusing on the action steps you can take. Now, let's move on to the next one. This one is another one that, I don't know if it's controversial or not, but anger and emotions in general, let's just say all emotions. Nobody, you know how you say, man, you make me so angry, or he makes me happy, she makes me happy, she makes me so angry, man, that guy Donald Trump makes me so angry, or that guy Bernie Sanders makes me so angry. No, he doesn't. No, they don't. Nobody can make you happy, and nobody can make you angry. You choose that as your emotion when something happens, or you see something, you choose to get angry. There's an old Chinese proverb that says, a small pot boils easily, and anger is perhaps one of the most destructive emotions that you can experience. It is never necessary to get angry. People say, man, you got to get angry. We have to be angry. No, we need to be happy and be working towards a goal that's positive and beneficial. Angry people don't make the world a better place, bottom line. Anger is not a positive emotion. It's not healthy mentally. It doesn't bring the best out in anybody, and it's not a lot of fun to be angry. So how do you not be a small pot and boil easily? And another way to think about anger and emotion is, if you react to things negatively and with anger, that's negating the whole rational mind, your ability to think rationally about things. Emotions are something with a little bit of practice you can enjoy, like a child, like enjoy pure joy and happiness. But you can also control and try to eliminate the negative swings, because they are within your control. So nobody makes you angry. If somebody says, EJ, you're just so stupid, like I had a YouTube comment on one of my one of my fishing ones, and the guy said, this guy is such a dumbass, fake, quote unquote pro, blah blah blah. I don't know. Anyway, some guy I never met, and he thought he was being real smart and showing what he knows about whatever when he was doing the comment. Zero negative emotion hit me when I actually laughed and thought that was pretty cool. I think that's pretty funny. You know why? Because am I a dumbass, fake, whatever? I don't think so. And him saying so doesn't make me feel more so. No, so didn't react negatively to that. Instead, my internal thought was, initial reaction, like that's pretty funny. Anyway, and that really helps, by the way. When somebody has something really negative to say about you, even if there's some truth to it, like you do something really stupid. Like, you know how many comments I got when my RV went in the water? Why did my RV go in the water? It went in the water because I didn't chalk the wheels and left the engine running, and then my dog put it in reverse. That's why it went in the water. Does that make me a dumbass? Looking back at it, in a lot of ways, yeah. Did I know that it would go in reverse if the dog put her foot on it? No. Did I think I needed to chalk the wheels? Does anybody chalk the wheels at the boat ramp? Not that I know of, really, no. Look, now in the future, when I'm in the RV, do I chalk the wheels and put the parking brake on and all the things? I've got a new RV that works a lot better for that. Absolutely. So I'm taking more precautions to make sure that my next RV, the one I have now, doesn't go in the lake when I'm launching my bass boat. So bottom line was I a dumbass when I dragged back the RV in the lake? Yeah, in a lot of ways. Or I was just ignorant, or I just didn't know better, or I didn't think hard enough about it. Guess what? Do we do those things in life? Absolutely. Have you done anything like that? My guess is yeah. I've done thousands of things like that in my life. Now my goal, of course, is to focus on as many positive things and eliminate as many dumbass moves as I can. Now, that doesn't incapacitate me, meaning I don't have paralysis by analysis, sit there and think, ooh, should I launch to my bat? Ooh, it's raining today a little bit, so I wonder if the rain is going to whatever, and there's other people around, and so I'm just going to sit here and do nothing because then I can't do anything stupid. Of course, doing nothing is the most stupid thing in the world because it takes you from being able to achieve your full potential to going way below that or to very little. So if you want to accomplish good things and be happy with yourself, you need to be operating somewhere near your potential, or at least doing things that are important to you. Okay, so small pot boils easily. So anger, nobody can make you angry, and nobody can make you happy. The person that you're with that makes you happy, like Christine makes me so happy, but Christine doesn't make me happy. When she says something, does something, she gives me a hug or whatever, I choose to be happy with it. That brings me happiness, right? Because I think good things, like I love this person, she's wonderful. These things are the one. These thoughts are the thoughts that are actually bring the happiness. So it is your internal conversation. So again, back to determining and trying to improve, reduce your time below the line, and take time that's on the neutral line and push it into the positive side. A few tips for that. Tip number 1, monitor your self-talk. Every time you say something, try to focus on something that's positive, literally, and you know how to construct a sentence, right? So say things like, that's awesome, something short and sweet that you can remember anytime something happens. This is great. I'm going to make the best out of this. Man, I'm so happy right now. Anything that is a statement that's above the line helps you get above the line. At that moment, your brain is listening and you do respond. Next, you need to practice in front of the mirror and make sure you know what a smile looks like. Smile where you see your teeth, like that. Know what neutral is, what your neutral is. And know what your frown looks like. And anytime you catch yourself, try to make sure that you are, think about it, and you're talking to somebody, smile. Remember, a smile is like the candle in the window that lets people know that there's a caring, sharing person inside. I heard that somewhere. And it's absolutely true. When you walk up to somebody that's smiling, it's disarming. You know that you're probably going to have a good conversation with that person. You walk up to somebody that's frowning, who knows what they're going to say. Are they going to say something warm and wonderful and absolutely positive? Probably not. Another thing, another tip for happiness, when you spend time with happy people, it's easier to be happy. It's easier to say that is good when somebody says, hey, you're so wonderful. It's easy to say, hey, they think I'm so wonderful. Automatically, you kind of respond. Your internal conversation is a positive one. If somebody says, and it's criticizing, saying bad things, it's really hard to be positive. Think about the people around you in work. The people that are negative in work, they don't bring about positive emotions, do they? It's more difficult to be positive because you've got to somehow take a negative interpersonal interaction. Somebody says something negative. It may not be about you, just maybe about work, or maybe about something you're doing, or something going on at work. Just like, yeah, man, this isn't going to work, and blah, blah, blah. Something negative that is focused on, below the line. To turn that into a positive takes more skill and more energy and more effort than somebody who says something positive. So my suggestion is you try to eliminate as many interpersonal relationships that are based on the negative as possible. Now, if a lot of this negative stuff is coming from somebody who's really important to you, then perhaps you can help coach them on being more positive and make sure that they understand when they're saying negative things that it is affecting those around them, that more work can get done, more positive work. Performance increases when people are happy and doing things for a positive reason. So people achieve more out of the desire to do good than out of the fear of something bad happening. Now, fear can be fear and fear. We talked about fear and desire in one of my previous videos, but fear can be a good motivator. Like, hey, keep your head down, don't get it shot off, or don't step in front of a car, you'll get run over. Things like that. There's situations where fear can be positive, especially in a little kid doesn't know better. Hey man, got to look both ways. You're gonna get run over. Being afraid of situations like that until you get old enough to be able to get to a road and look around in a positive way. I want to get to the other side of the road. Look both ways. No cars coming. Off you go. You don't have to be afraid every time you cross a road. But fear can work, especially for kids when they're growing up. But unfortunately, kids have spent so much time getting parented, often where fear is the primary motivator, that as they get older, they don't have the skill set to learn how to make decisions using positive, constructive thoughts. So, if somebody's walking towards you and they got a grumpy frown on their face and you don't absolutely need to talk to that person, walk around them. You don't need to look them in the eye and engage on them. Maybe they're looking for somebody to dump on. Is that going to make it easier for you to be happy or not? If it's not, like, if you're a boss and you're hiring people, highly recommend you get rid of as many negative people as you can and replace them with positive people. Of course, ideally, you coach the negative people as much as possible, and if they aren't accepting to your coaching, you don't need to put those kind of people in your organization, because organizationally it's the same thing. If you've got 100 people that work for you, and out of those 100 people, 51 of them are negative and 49 are positive, it's going to be a problem. You want to have 99% positive as much as possible. All right, so hopefully that'll help. Remember that small pot boils easily. Anger is one of the worst negative emotions, so if you can eliminate a large percentage of that, you'll automatically be closer to the line. And then if you can replace any internal negative thoughts with positive ones, like, hey Roxy, that's going to help a lot. And you do that by replacing, in my case, man, that sucks, with awesome. What can I do to make that awesome? Yeah. Happiness is within your control, and starts with a smile, starts with a positive thought. Anyway, I'll see you out there. And when you're walking up to me, if you're smiling, I guarantee I'll be talking to you. See ya.